Oathless are an essential part of Deepwoken. Every build needs one. If you don't have one, then your build's probably trash. This is a ranking of all 8 of them. From Bladeharper to the Oathless, this is the ultimate Oath tier list. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, join me every Friday in Freakwoken Fridays. Starting off our list, we have Vision Shaper. Vision Shaper requires 50 charisma and completing elitist quest in the mini Tirza. The effects come with 1 support mantra and 2 combat mantras. This oath is based off of the Deep Owls, and if you've ever saw them, they're scary as hell, bro. To get Vision Shaper, you have to find Surge in the Widow Cave and give him a Dark Feather. He will teleport to this weird white place, and then you will accept the oath with all the requirements. To progress it, you need Void Feathers, specifically 5. These ones are from killing corrupted owls. After that, you will get all the mantras and the talents. Here are some of the abilities. Illusionary Servants, Combat Mantra. This will turn you invisible and give you a little slave to help you with your battle. Clone. This guy is really weak, so it's kind of useless right now. Next up is Illusionary Counter, which is a counter mantra, of course. It also summons a little clone. It's also pretty mid, but it can be used well just because it can get people off guard, which is good. Next up we have Mirror Illusion. This mantra will back targets up and create a little clone. This is also just super mid. Don't use it. Some of the talents are Cheap Trick, passive, when hit below 50% health, turn invisible and summon a Shaper clone, granting iframes on activation. This has a 60-second cooldown. Before the rework, I probably would have given it an A tier, but after the rework, they removed the Illusionary Realm. Still looks really cool, it's just no more depth skanking. B tier. Next up is Star Kindred. Star Kindred requires 40 strength and 1 player grip. Its effects include 2 combat mantras, 8 health, a modified fire blade, and a better aerial assault. To obtain it, well, you need 40 strength and a grip. Chime conflict does not count. You have to talk to Samuel, which is this angel guy in the church in Songseeker. After that, you have to kill Ilbis, which is in Starsup Valley somewhere. And then after that, you have to go back to Samuel again, and you'll get the oath. To progress it, you have to go kill a bunch of other angels around the Airtel Sea to get all the mantras and stuff. Here are the abilities. Wings. These have these black wings that can be recolored. They make you slightly faster, and they make a new fire blade, which is really good. You have different variants for like Chrysids, Ganymedes, and Vesperians, because like they're all bugs, and yeah. It's just a visual thing, and it makes your character go a bit faster. Next up is Ascension. This mantra will make the user rise in the sky before literally just diving down, knocking everybody out. It's hard to land. This is like the one mantra in Star Kindred you probably don't want to use. Next up is Celestial Assault. This is one of the mantras you do want to use. This is a vertical slash that basically just makes your opponent go upwards. You can also feint it, which is the only good way to do it. If you don't feint it, it's probably gonna be like you're always gonna parry it. The person's always gonna parry it, and then they're gonna hit you. You know, it's bad. Next up is Sinister Halo. This is literally just free healing if you have a Bloodless Gem on it. This is like Scarlet Cyclone in the Gale Tornado. But it's Star Kindred and makes you heal with the Bloodless Gem way more. This is one of the mantras you probably do want to use, but again, I feel like all the mantras are pretty mid. And for the talent, it's Death from Above. If you cancel your air dash, you will reveal your wings and Yaochi your enemy. Yikes. Again, everything's so mid. Star Kindred doesn't really have a good use anymore. I've used it a lot. It's either C or D. I'll put it low as C though. Next is Contractor. Contractor actually has no stat requirement, making it good basically on every PvP build. However, it's still probably the most annoying one to get. And although I think it's great, it's just annoying, man. I've gotten it twice, I can
say that with ease. To obtain it, this is gonna be the worst part of the oath. Maybe even worse than progressing it. You have to get neutral or positive rep with the ministry. Now, this is either time consuming or hard. You have to either do bounties with people your level so you can't void walk, or you have to do stuff at Summer Isle and you have to kill a ministry there. But it takes so long. So it's just so annoying to do this part. Also, by the way, there's like the special guy that gives the bounties. You can't just do one and get neutral rep with the ministry. After that, you have to start the Duke Arizia quest line. You have to get the kill credit for Duke, basically just gripping him and doing most of the damage. And if you won't, that won't count. After that, you want to go to the Lord Regent and choose Bite Your Tongue. This will signify you're on the right path. If you're not on the, if it like doesn't say that, just log immediately because you will die. Next, you have to make a deal with four different deep shrines. Every shrine will work except for Shrine of Order, Shrine of Solitude, and Shrine of Mastery. It's just, it's part 2. You need a lot of knowledge for this one, which unless you have a Moon's Eye Tome, it's gonna be so annoying. I was locked out of like doing stuff because I didn't have knowledge and I needed to do Promadon over and over again. After that, you need to unlock your resonance, basically just kill a bunch of bosses over and over again until you die in depths, and then you'll get your resonance. Then you have to go back. And then you have to go to Youngshul in the depths, ask what happened to this place. You have to get the 4 deep shrines first. You can't just unlock your belt, you have to get the 4 deep shrines before talking to him, and then you can talk to him. After that, you have to go back to the Lord Regent and select, no, I know your true nature, blah 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 blah. This will get you Contractor, so that's good. It's just, do not choose I am here to stop you. That will, he will grip you. To upgrade it, this is probably the most annoying part. You have to grip people in depths with an oath, so most likely max level players. Not only that, you have to do it 3 times. So if you could skip it automatically without having to do it on another slot, then that's good. I don't think I'd have a problem with it. Maybe just it's annoying to get knowledge, but the fact that you have to, if you want this oath again, you probably have to progress it on a different account, and then you have to get the knowledge on the other account. And it's just like, if you want Contractor again with all its moves, you basically have to do the 3 grips no matter what. It's so annoying. Why would you make it like, ugh, bro? Like, I wish there was another way to progress it. It's just annoying to progress. Its abilities are hidden tendril. That's why a little tendril black line string into your body. These allow like these will allow you to use one of the special moves of Judgment easily, and if you don't have a sentry, you can't use it. Next is String Trick. This is probably the most useless move. It just hits people together if you have a tendril on both of them. It's so useless. Like, you're not gonna purposely hit one another. It's kind of useless considering this is a Chime oath. Next up is Judgment. Judgment is probably the one that's most used. Basically, there's a bunch of black strings that hold you in the air and do a bunch of damage. This mantra is great and it instantly executes, which is good. It can be vented out of, but it's pretty good. Next up is Lord Slice. This combines a mobility mantra and a combat mantra. This, as long as you have the tendril, you can play it and it will basically reverse the places you're in. It also makes you move pretty fast, so that's good. And like, yeah, it's a good mantra. I think most people use this too. Next up is Equalizer. This is probably the one mantra people don't really pick up while having Contractor, but it is really good with Eclipse Kick. There's a bar with Eclipse Kick, and it's also pretty good with Ash Slam. It's good with anything that any mantra does high damage, and it's also good if you want to do combos. But it's easy to vent out of, so that's bad. Overall, this oath is a PvP oath, which is good because this is a PvP tier list. S tier, it's great. Maybe nice. The best Chime oath, probably. Maybe. Next is Silent Heart. Silent Heart requires a sum of 75 points invested in the weapon stats, 25 strength, 25 charisma or agility, and you have to be gripped by an attunement user. The effects when obtaining the oath are 2 posture and 10 health. After having all the requirements for Silent Heart, you have to go into the Void Sea, find the beloved Zofia, and talk to the Dreadstar. The Dreadstar looks like Young Shul kinda, but he'll give you the oath. To progress it, you need to kill attunement trainers. There are 6 attunement trainers you have to kill, and one of them is located in depths, so you should probably get the ones in the overworld before you kill the other ones. Here are some of the stuff. Ankle cutter. If you slide for a long period of time and then you M1, you'll do this little spin thingy. Next is Dread Fighter, which is a passive. Every time you hit something or you get hit by mantras, you get stacks of dread. And it gives you resistance. This lasts for 15 seconds. It can go up to 25%, by the way. Next is Flow State. This is basically your awakening. This gives you quote-unquote special attacks. Again, this is pretty, you kind of need this. You can activate it every few seconds. Next is Mayhem. Mayhem is basically just a special dash attack. It's pretty cool, especially on heavy weapon, but like, yeah. Medium weapon is probably my favorite though. Next is Merciless Blade. This executes faster, like by 25%. This comes with the oath, and you don't really need this at all. Next is Relentless Hunt. This will do a little like spinny twirl thingy and then hit your opponent. It's different for all different like weapons though, so that's cool. Next is Rising Star. If you try to uppercut from heavy, medium, or light, and if you try to control M2, you'll do a special uppercut attack. This is different for all weapon variants. Next is True Vantage. You just go invisible while you vent. It's alright. Next is Unmatched Dexterity. You can switch between weapon types, which can be useful, but most of the time it's just not. Next is Vengeful Pursuit. This is a running attack that will do a little blade slice if you M1 while running. To be honest, this oath is pretty great, but it got gutted for PvE, and I'm really mad because my PvE with 100 hours on it got gutted. But it got way better for PvP, so for that I'll put it A tier. Next is Dawnwalker. Dawnwalker requires 30 Kirsten medallions, however, you don't need any stat requirements, making it great on basically every PvP build like Contractor. Its effects gives you 2 combat mantras. To obtain it, this might be more annoying than Contractor, but probably not for me at least. You have to go down to layer 2, floor 2, collect 30 medallions. I think you have to collect 75 total max, and then you have to give Claris, the girl that sends you down, the 75 to fully max it out. You need 30 just to get the oath. You get this moon's eye symbol, which is really cool once you get the oath, and yeah. And some of the abilities are Blinding Dawn. This doesn't really have a use in PvP, however, it's really good in PvE, but this isn't a PvE tier list. Next is Radiant Kick. This is probably the most used mantra of this oath in PvP, for good reason. In fact, if you're going Dawnwalker on a PvP build, probably the only reason you're going Dawnwalker is for Radiant Kick. It's really good because it can travel far, it does high damage, and procs much of the Dawnwalker talents, making it really good. This is probably the one you need on your build. Next is Radiant Dawn. This does like 60 damage at 0 song chant and 70 at 6 song chant. You can parry this like with Radiant Kick and with Blinding Dawn, making it like really good, but it's hard to land and it takes a while, but it's good, I guess. There are a lot of talents, or a lot of things. Yeah. There's 3 things I should probably talk about. First is Protagonist System. This basically just counters Shadow by making your Dawnwalker moves like more empowered once you're hit by Shadow.
Next is Luminous Flash. After doing a certain amount of damage, you get an aura. Yeah, an aura, and it just makes the damage go like way higher. You can see the aura, by the way. Next is Absolute Radiance. Once you're doing Dawnwalker mantras briefly, it makes you immune to all elemental effects. This is basically just that one intelligence. This is like the one intelligence mantra. I think it's like waters off of its back. It's kind of just a better version of it. It's really good. So I think Dawnwalker is an S tier. It's really good in ganking. It's really good in Chime. The Radiant Kick. It's solos. S. No debate. Next up, we have Chain Warden. For Chain Warden, you need Ally plus Reputation with the Central Authority, and you need a sum of 40 points invested in the Strength, Fortitude, and Willpower. The effects are 1 wildcard mantra slot and 2 combat mantra slots. To obtain it, once you have all the stats I just mentioned, you have to go to Fort Merit, speak to the Vice guy in near like the cage area, and then you have to go back to Summer Isle. Once you go back to Summer Isle, there'll be a Castle Ruins place. If you go down a secret ladder, you'll be met with this guy that's gonna have to kill you. Kill him, and as long as you have the requirements, you have to talk to the guy. He'll give you Chain Warden, and that's how you get it. You need the kill credit, by the way. You can't just have a friend grip him. To progress it, you need to grip people with a chain. You can also grip bosses like Duke Rizal, Maestro, and the Ferryman. Duke is the best, and yeah. By the way, the people that you need to grip, they need to have negative reputation at the Central Authority, and you have to chain them. This oath gives you like a little gauntlet thing. It looks really cool. Yeah. The first mantra is Restrain. This does 2 damage, and it stuns your opponent. It's a little kick, and it slows them down by a lot, which is really, really good. It does apply chain too, which is great. You can't use Bloodless Gem, by the way. It is bugged. Next is Impale. This is just a gun of chains. This will not remove chains, and this will not add chains. This is, alright. Next is Rupture. This is good. This, basically detonates your target with a chain and hits them if you don't have a chain. Basically, if you have a chain on the person and you rupture, they basically just get exploded back. And if you don't have a chain, you just punch them a couple of times. The talents are Perpetual Wrath. Unleash the true power of Restrain. Each successive hit will increase its damage. Restrain doesn't really have that much of a cooldown, so you can keep spamming it. Again, your ether is gonna go down, but that's a good talent. Next is Chain Lash. If you flourish an enemy, you can pull them towards you and then kick them away. You can also M1. It's pretty good actually, and yeah. Overall, in the right hands, it's probably S, but generally, it's gonna go to top of B tier. Next up, we have Blind Seer. Blind Seer requires 40 willpower and 3 mental fortress talents. Those being Breathing Exercise, Conquer Your Fears, and Disbelief. To obtain it, once you have your 40 willpower and your Disbelief talents, you need to go to Lower Ruzia. You have to go to the church thing that's at the top, and then you have to read the sign with a blindfold on. You can also have the blindfold without needing a blindfold. To progress it, you need to help freshies throughout the death trial, which it can be difficult if you don't have a friend, but in general, it's one of the easier oaths to progress. Also, this oath gives you 1 wildcard, 1 support, and 10 sanity. The first mantra is Mind Soothe. Heal nearby allies for 60 HP at the cost of your sanity. This is really good in ganks. Next is Tranquil Circle. This disables mantras by being used in its radius, which is really, really good. It can also be modified with a magnet spread to follow you around, which is a lot better. Yeah. Next is All Seeing Eye. All invisible foes are highlighted so you can see them, which is good in ganks too. So yeah. Next is Sightless Beam. This does so much damage. This was 150 damage without any song chant. It's really good. It makes this weird white beam out of your eye. It's really fire. Use it. Overall, this oath is pretty great, especially in ganks and in PvE because of the sanity buffs. I'll put it A tier, but I'll put it at the bottom of A tier. Next we have Oathless. Oathless doesn't really have any requirements. I don't know what you expect. Its effects are 10 HP, 20 Oath resistance, 2 wildcard monster slots, and that's it. To obtain it, this is way more annoying than it should be. You have to find like I'm pretty sure there's 3 people. One is in Fort Merritt, one is in Meteor Isle, one is in Summer Isle. You also have to talk to this guy in Songseeker, and then he'll say find the guys. So yeah. After that you have to go talk to him again, and then he'll give you the oath. You do not need to do this again if you want to get it again. For mantras, there's none. For talents, there's none. For the effects, it gives you 10 HP, 2 wildcard mantras, and 20 oath resistance. This is actually really good against Silent Heart though. One thing I don't like about it though, it doesn't add anything to your outfits. So that sucks. But still, it's pretty good. Oathless is probably gonna go bottom of C tier. Star Kindred is better. It's Oathless. I don't know what you expect. Next is Jetstriker. Jetstriker requires 50 agility, and it has a lot of effects and a lot of talent effects, making it just really good. So its effects are 1 wildcard mantra, 1 mobility mantra, and 8 passive agility, which is pretty good. For its talent effects, you get 5 HP, 5 ether, and 12 passive agility, which combined together is really, really good. I think it's probably one of the best stats for effects of an oath. To obtain it, it's actually really, really easy. It's probably the easiest oath to obtain, which is really good. You have to talk to Alarian, or whatever her name is, which is in mini tier, so you have to rate her. It takes like 10 seconds. And to progress the oath, you just have to find orbs around the map in the Etrian Luminant. And it's so easy too. And even once you're done that, you can just talk to her again, like after you've done that on a different account, just to get the oath again. It's such a good oath for such a low price. Here are the abilities. There are a lot of abilities. So yeah, there's acceleration points. This gives you 5 passive agility, and it steals and grants momentum when doing stuff by striking an opponent. Next is Jetstream Pursuit. On a flourish, when they stop moving, you will get a significant boost of momentum. This is really good. Again, it's so good! Next is momentum bar, parrying, dodging, running, and landing attacks of burst like a bar. At the bar, you can see the bar when running. You can like vent faster, and you can like when you like spin around, so you go faster. The first talent is Straightest Step. This makes you just double climb walls, kind of. It gives you 5 HP and 3 passive agility. This is really good. Especially good for running and ganks. So yeah. Next is the Decisive Winds, which is another talent. When damaged below 50 HP, gain a maximum sprint momentum temporarily. This is good, really good, but yeah. Next is Rush of Ancients. Daxing at maximum sprint momentum makes you one with the wind itself. Makes you invisible once you you just roll once you hit the full bar. Really, really good. Next mantra is Jet Kick. This is probably the best mantra. It's very, very good, especially the charged version, which has full momentum. It's like, oh my god, it's so good. It's a good gap closer. It does high. It's like, oh my god. I'll put Jetstriker in the bottom of S tier just because of how easy and how good it is for such a low price. Like, come on. Like, that's so good. Next is Alchemist. Alchemist requires 75 intelligence, and you have to complete CS quests at least once. The effects give you 1 wildcard mantra, 1 support mantra, and 20 carry load. To obtain it, you have to make 1 potion for Sia. You do not need to learn the location of Adrophalus, the person that makes you take the oath. After that, you have to go to the Ferryman's library. Adrophalus will ask you to make a residue. You have to bring him the following ingredients: a celestial ichor, or ichor, I don't know how to pronounce that. The blood of a celestial. You have to get a canteen and then canteen the blood there. Yeah. After that, you need to get Stardust from a star tree, from Mini Tirsa, or from Starsville Valley, and you need a lotus, any of them.
which are in basically every void zone. After getting those ingredients, go back to Agile Phallus in the Ferryman's library and it'll give you the oath. To progress it, you need to use a Vibregem, a pluripotent alloy, and a Stardust. Craft them together to make 3 salt talents, all granted at once. This consumes the Stardust. Next is Perpetual Distillery. Your body has become basically these 3 potions. You can throw them, drink them, and yeah, they can be deadly and they can eat. It's really good for ganks. Also, by the way, you probably need 100 intelligence to actually make them good. Next is the Biotic Salt. It has the negative effects for allies, and you have to add them to the potions to do that. It makes it like, this is probably the best thing for ganks. After that is Aromatic Salts. Alter your brews to create a lingering cloud or mist and count towards the ingredient limit. This lasts around 10 seconds, and it's unclear if the potion effects stack in any way. Next is Antithetic Salts. Alter your brews to invert their effects. This does not count toward the ingredient limit. So, an example of this is Disgusting to Dulling, Mind-Breaking to Heartening, Invigorating into Grueling. Next is a mantra, I believe, which is Lethal Injection. You launch from forward and inject the targeted person with all your auto-brew potions. This injects all the negative effects of your brew, none of the positive effects, making it pretty good for Chime, so that's good. And ganks, yeah. This deals a small amount of damage, but it's fine. Overall, this oath is pretty great. I don't think it's S tier though. I'll put it above Blind tier and A tier. Next is Fadetrimmer. Fadetrimmer requires Power 12, 15 non-unique haircuts, and literally no style requirement. The effects give you 1 combat mantra and 1 wildcard mantra. To obtain it, you have to change your hair 15 times at any barber. Your hairs do not need to be unique. You can just restore your hair to natural after doing your hair things 15 times. After that, you have to ask him, how are you able to do all this stuff? Continue the dialogue and he'll give you the oath. First mantra is precision cuts. Snip forward 3 times with your scissors. This is alright. It's very easily parryable, but it's cool, I guess. It's 55 slash damage. Next is Closed Shave. This is a closed distance and a gap closer, and it's alright. It does low damage, it can be used for movement, aims directly at the cursor. You can also change people's haircuts. You can't use anything that is bad for us to get banned. It's cool if you just wanna end a gank or something, you just wanna change your hair the homies for some reason. You can also do hair products, which there's a pop-up menu that's flammable, charming, and revitalizing. Flammable ignites the opponent, charms the opponent. Revitalizing heals a flat 10% HP at the target. This oath is a troll oath. It's kind of funny, but this is our first I'll put it above Oathless and C. Next is Bladeharper. Bladeharper requires 75 medium, a sum of 90 points invested into weapon stats if it's not medium, 25 agility or strength, and an equipment of a non-fist weapon, so you can't have fists. The effects give you 2 combat mantras. To obtain it, you need to get the stats I just mentioned. Go to the sky statues around the luminance. There's 3 of them. They will teleport you to this weird white place. I think it's from Bleach, or inspired by Bleach. And then kill the guys. If you manage to deduct a life, do not. You'll have to kill, and it will respawn. Walk. And to progress it, you have to go to the other sky sketches and defeating the Mind's Reflection again, with each up to 3 times, granting the player 2 mantras on the corresponding talents. Obtaining the oath grants Leaf Step and Palm Strike. The second sky statue yields Soaring Storm and Untouchable. The final sky statue will give Reveal, Float Like a Butterfly, and Decimate. Just like Jetstriker, if you roll cancel, you'll do this little thing. Next is Palm Strike. This is a mantra. You will slice your opponent with your palm. This is you are slowed down during this mantra. True Strength is activated. 3 slashes will appear, making you and the target go in the air. Next is Decimate. This is combat mantra. Cut through your opponent. If True Strength this is out there, this will extend to nearby enemies. This cannot use this mantra.
And auto grips will knock players if low enough or knocked. Some of the talents are Soaring Storm, power your uppercuts with the way of the blade. After least stepping, flourishing, or landing an oath ability, it's applies to all uppercuts. Next is Untouchable. By landing consecutive hits onto your opponent without taking damage, reveal your true strength for a short duration. Next is Reveal. You'll impale yourself and reveal your true strength. This just makes your moves way more powerful. Next is Float Like a Butterfly.
I hate you if you use this. I've played Chime before and lost because of these monkeys. Monkeys! Monkeys! I hate you. I hate you.
This oath is literally just Sukuna. And for that, I think it's gonna go to the top of A tier. And yeah, next oath. Next is Arcorder. Arcorder requires 20 Fortitude, 20 Flame Charm, 20 Thunder Call, and completing Alpha's quest. The effects give you 1 wildcard mantra and 2 combat mantras. To obtain it, when you have the stats, you have to go down to layer 2. You have to complete Alpha's quest. You have to activate the general. You have to activate the generator, talk to Alpha, and retrieve injured Epsi. Choose option 2 when you talk to him. Option 1 causes him to die. But he will respawn every time you go back to layer 2. You have to talk to Alpha again. To return to the surface and go to Miners Landing. Talk to Delta, which is the lower mountain power of the town, and he'll give you the oath. In order to progress it, you need to kill Tracer or Etheron. Here's some of the abilities. Arc Suit. Iron Man. This just makes you get like 10% more resistance. Next talent is Arc Module. When you hold spacebar, you'll jump higher. Cool. Arc Module Dash. When you dash longer. Cool. You can also attack during dashes. Next is Eject. Once you get guard broken, you can actually eject from your suit and get unguard broken. Cool. Next is Arc Module Null. This basically disables enchants. Cool. You have to press it. This is a mantra, Arc Wave. You stomp the ground, and it's kind of like a little wave of arc energy. Cool. This is Arc Beam. You fire a little beam at your enemy. Cool. It can instantly grip, by the way, which is really good. This oath is Iron Man. This is greatly one of the oaths of all time. A tier. Next is Linkstrider. Linkstrider actually has no oath requirement. Its effects give you 2 support mantras and 1 wildcard mantra. This is the ultimate ganking oath. To obtain it, you have to go to a Cataclysm, and you have to go grip people's oaths. At least it's not as bad as Contractor, though. But you have to take them back to the Entropy Cataclysm and then sacrifice them. What? There's also another way to get it. You will have to get lotuses, pristine lotuses, in the Entropy Cataclysm. You have to grip 4 players with oaths. It can't be the same player. It will be converted. Your pristine lotus will be converted to a scarlet lotuses, and you need to get 4 scarlet lotuses. You have to talk to the big white orb in the middle. To progress, you have to grip people's oaths, and this doesn't need to be done with Entropy Cataclysm. Here's some of the abilities. Entropy Link talent. You're able to fast travel certain places while resting in a campfire. Good for ganking, but you can't cross luminance. Also, this does not work in combat. Next is Symbiotic Link. There's 2 variants, one for allies and one for enemies. There's blue cords, gain a speed boost for your allies, 20% damage resistance, and a 5% damage increase. Nice. Next is red cords, gain a minor speed debuff. Next is Symbiotic Sustain. This heals an ally. It's really, really good. And yeah, but it kind of hurts yourself. So sacrifice 7 HP to restore 50 HP to the target's HP. Yeah. This Parasitic Leech. It steals HP from the target and leeches 7% of HP from the target. So, yeah. This is a ganking oath. So I'll put it in B tier. But I'll put it at the top. Put it right here. Chime warden stuff of it though. Oh yes! How could I forget about the chef oath? This is the S+. This is the best oath in the game. There's no debate about that. It's the chef oath. And I think everybody can agree. I mean, like, it's called the chef oath for a reason. S+, no debate.